Hello, we are GreenYard Enterprise and we seek a sustainable green yard solution. Hey Edwin, Joshua, do you know that 14% of the total municipal solid waste stream and 2.6% of greenhouse gas emissions are associated with just kitchen waste?
Yeah, I know. Food wastage and its accumulation are becoming a pretty critical problem, but won't the big waste treatment plants help mitigate this?
Well, U.S. cities experienced a 20% net increase in municipal solid waste between March and April 2020. The cost of managing waste is approximately $330 million annually, and when this excess kitchen waste is disposed of in a landfill, it rots and becomes a significant issue of methane, a greenhouse gas. The scarcity of land for waste is another issue.
We usually don't realize that Americans use, on average, over 100 gallons of water daily. This contributes to persisting water shortages in the US, and commercial methods of composting require the use of fossil fuel-powered machinery and high heat oxidation processes.
Ugh, Gavin, I saw something bad in your backyard.
Oh yeah, that's just some excess food waste in a garbage can. You know, the garbage truck only comes once a week. What can I do?
Gavin, you can buy compost to turn the waste into fertilizer.
Yeah, but they aren't very efficient. They usually take over a month to decompose.
We're in urgent need of a solution. Current composting solutions seem to be bottlenecked, and it will be better if residents are able to take care of waste on their own. So, GreenYard Enterprise was our answer to the question, how do we divert organic waste and wastewater in a sustainable, cost-effective, and efficient way? GYE is not solely a product or a system, but a concept to shift the compost industry into one that is more environmental. This will enable more people to benefit from backyard harvesting and initiate the transition away from industrial compost, moving beyond traditional compost bins in terms of functionality, cost efficiency, and speed to turn kitchen waste and wastewater into food on the table.
Gather the kitchen solid waste and wastewater into two bins. The bin with solid waste has a blender, which may be powered by a solar panel to assist in decomposition. Along with the magic powder, the process is expedited. After 1 to 3 days, you will have usable compost and organic fertilizer. The second bin stores wastewater to assist in irrigation, and our smart junction box regulates the time of mixing and irrigation. In our first phase of business, the product package we sell includes the Smart Junction box, magic powder, and the DIY instructions. The DIY may also instruct the user to construct and alter the system. In the second phase of our business, we will build standard and customized overall systems for sale. Our Smart Junction box is connected to the devices via wire connectors and can regulate the compost and wastewater apparatuses. We plan to also sell two options, one being a more expensive option and can be linked to your mobile device with the capacity to monitor and determine your own schedule. The magic powder is a composite of microorganisms specific for pectin and food waste. Formula One incorporates the anaerobic digestion to forefront the hydrolysis process and break down organic waste, while Formula Two uses aerobic treatment to closely monitor the odor and contaminants. Our business seeks to provide a sustainable, efficient composting system for single-family houses. We understand customers come first. GOIE will target these value propositions by reducing water and energy costs in a composting process with unprecedented efficiency without losing our focus on sustainability. To accumulate profit, our main revenue sources originate from selling the magic powder and the smart junction boxes in our first phase of business and selling the whole system, including the composting tank, the water pump and sensor, and solar panel in the second phase. Costs will mainly come from the production of our materials, like the junction box and magic powder, while some other costs will come from labor fees, salaries, shipping, and advertising. In our first phase of about the first 3 years, our market range will be based in California before we expand to the rest of the US in the second phase in 2023. This allows us to explore a far greater fraction of the total market segment. A total of 6.4 million in investments will cover all startup costs, offering an exponentially increasing return on investment for the first 3 years.
GYE's ultimate goal is to become the industry standard for presenting a sustainable compost and waste management system. We identify three major competitors and four characteristics to make our comparison. One evident competitor is traditional home compost bins. A company that forefronts this category is GeoBin. The company is able to access sustainability, but natural decomposition takes on average at least 3 months, not including maintenance necessities. Alternatively, more advanced compost bins have generally replaced basic composters and are forefronted by companies such as FCMP. The company primarily designs rotational molded plastic compost tumblers to increase compost expediency. However, manual maintenance requirements are high and decomposition still takes a minimum of 3 weeks. Such solutions are similarly uncustomizable. Lastly, a substitute for the home composting process consists of commercial compost observed in the last column. Leading brands include Miracle Grow, which typically sell packaged formulas by area. However, bagged compost is in reality not very dominant. Evidently, commercial compost options have high efficiency, but are contingent on carbon-heavy processes. Relying on bad compost also culminates in high costs and have no options to be personalized. GreenYard Enterprise, in creating a both automated and quicker decomposition process, is able to overcome the appeal of industrial compost and catalyze a shift towards the UN's goals, allowing a growing awareness for sustainability to bolster our competitive edge. We're additionally able to access a range of costs adequate for various financial states, as integration of solar energy and wastewater recycling with the junction box enables customers to save costs long term while also experiencing the highest degree of customization. Marketing becomes especially crucial to capitalize on this competitive edge. GYE's initial target market will be single homeowners in Davis, California, allowing us to scale our business to a very niche local segment before expanding to the state and national levels. This allows us to utilize our existing interpersonal connections in addition to the strong agricultural background and large backyards of Davis. Census data tells us that Americans accumulate about $47.8 billion in gardening retail purchases annually, of which $7 billion is directed to fertilizer. We want to be able to access 1% of this big potential market. There are three critical facets to our marketing appeal. First, a rise in awareness for sustainability. Second, a reduction in attention and time requirements. And lastly, the creation of a permanent, cost-efficient composting apparatus. Our strategy aims to integrate these benefits into our marketing approach, initiating with door-to-door and telemarketing before diversifying to more online advertising and billboards that will allow us to better delineate our target demographic.
When we start, we will have significant costs on research and development, including consultation costs on product design, patent development and filing, and improving our product. After our sales stabilize, we will also begin analyzing customer feedback and improve our product further. We expect these costs to remain stable after the second year of operation, from which we will continue improving our system. To establish our production, we will begin by outsourcing bulk manufacturing to China and Mexico. The initial cost is expected to be approximately $500,000, which will increase as we expand to the national scale. In the first year, we plan on spending about $300,000 on marketing, mainly focused on local promotion and advertisement. Afterwards, we will begin promoting ourselves online and begin utilizing other traditional forms of advertisement. Our marketing costs will gradually increase, eventually remaining at a stable level. In an effort to revolutionize consumer-level composting, we aim to minimize waste generation through our magic powder, which will also reduce waste disposal and also recover energy from unwanted products and materials. With our product, every family will be able to save water, reduce waste disposal, and save energy. By managing the risk associated with hazardous waste and lessening the stress on wastewater plants, we will lower water bills and reduce the average municipal energy consumption rate of water utilities, which will, in turn, increase water efficiency and conservation. The economic sustainability of GreenYard Enterprise becomes increasingly important as we improve both our sales and efficiency, observable in this cost-revenue comparison. The constant sale of magic powder, the smart junction box, and overall system will increase in proportion to our sales. We want GreenYard Enterprise to be a definitive step towards Goal 11 of the UN's 17 Goals of Sustainable Development, made especially possible when we're able to introduce unprecedented sustainability, efficiency, and personalization in the composting process and attain the industry standard. This is just the beginning.
Here's our team. Our goal is to turn today's kitchen waste into tomorrow's fertilizer and promote the sustainable backyard concept to every household. Thank you.
Thank you, three gentlemen. Thank you, Green Monkeys. Thanks for your fabulous pitch. GYE, the same name with our organization GYE, which is a different GreenYard. Oh my God, I love that idea. And how did you feel, our audience? Do you have any questions? I think there are gonna be many great questions. Amy, how about the questions?
So I don't know if there are any questions sent privately to our candidates. So if you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself and raise question to our members. So first of all, there's one question I got here is, how do you come up with the idea of the GYE enterprise?
Yeah, I can answer that question. So looking into like the UN's goals, I think goal 11 out of the 17 sustainable goals especially stood out to us because we saw like a lot of potential for innovation in intersecting sustainable cities and communities with entrepreneurship and innovation. And the reason we chose like GreenYard Enterprise and this sort of composting system and product to address this goal was because we felt that like developing and treating these waste and water issues was a problem that was really close to us and something that has a lot of everyday implications on the welfare of the community and the people that live around us, especially like living in California in a sort of suburban area. Waste management and water shortages are issues that we have experienced, and thus we wanted to try to incorporate an entrepreneurial mindset and entrepreneurial ideas into something that would help address these issues and make a positive impact concretely, which is where we decided to create this sort of magic powder and composting system in order to extend the benefits of composting in addition to like in unprecedented efficiency to our consumers.
Thank you,
Okay.
that's great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
is there any
So
other questions? Yeah,
yes,
from
we
our
got a
audience?
question from Richard. So Richard, do you
Okay.
mind just unmute yourself and then you can repeat your questions?
Sure. Yeah, I just had a question regarding has the team considered a subscription model to lower potential upfront investment if you have to buy the smart controller and some of the other items, and obviously have ongoing magic powders. But have you considered a subscription model rather than an upfront investment in the hardware?
We haven't considered a subscription model. However, we designed our system to be very flexible. For example, new users that already like somewhat compost at home can buy only our magic powder to speed up their home composting process. And other users that haven't done any composting at all can buy the entire system for the whole package.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we got another question from Joe. Joe, would you mind unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Yeah, by the way, this is a very exciting the project. I think it's very promising. My question, the first question is, what's the target, the cost of each this compost, the product, and what market are you targeting to? A low-end market, high-end market? The second one is how is the R&D budget going to be allocated? You said the first year and you need 1 million R&D budget, and I'm curious on how you are going to use that money.
So for our phase one, where we only give out the DIY product and we only give out the DIY part, we plan to have the cost to be around $290 to $300. Where in the future, where we start selling the whole system, which includes the water pumps and sensors and the irrigation processes, we plan to increase that cost to $608. For the R&D, we plan to give around 10% to 15% of our revenue to focus on R&D to improve our product and make it more efficient.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got another question from Harvey. Harvey, would you mind unmute yourself?
We only got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk really fast. I was curious
Yeah.
about how long you believe it will take to break even and what kind of total investment are you looking for to get your venture off the ground?
Yeah, I can answer this question. So we did some calculations, especially like looking at our revenue and operational cost comparison. I think according to our calculations, if we expand our target market from Davis to the United States within 3 years, we're able to break even in about 2.5 years. And this is from numbers and calculations, taking into account census data of how many like households are willing to spend and purchase retail on gardening, and multiplying by the cost of our junction box and magic powder, which retails around 290, and then later the system, we're able to break even around 2.5 years. And then in terms of investment, I think the revenue and operational costs slide sort of does a good job at talking about how in the first 3 years, $6.4 million, our operational costs total $6.4 million in total for us to be able to expand to a national level. I think like an investment on this scale would definitely be very beneficial in helping us like reach this ultimate goal of the national level. But I think if you look at our graph, an initial investment of about like $3.4 million will help cover our state costs, and this will help reach an like exponentially increasing return on investment, especially because we're able to increase our target market as we move from 2022 to 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Green Monkey. It's very impressive.